Good morning everyone, the Unreal Engine 4 update has finally arrived for Blade & Soul. We only had to wait 18 months or a year and a half before we got this update, so here it is finally in our hands in all its glory. I have not logged on to my beautiful summoner in quite some time. However, in today's video we will be running on the Gunslinger simply because I don't know how to play the summoner anymore, especially since we have the third spec with the UFO cat thing, which is kind of really funny, but I just don't know how to play the class anymore, so I feel like it would be a really bad showcase if I'm sitting there not knowing how to play my class and, you know, complaining about a bunch of things. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my first impression on the Unreal Engine 4 update for Blade & Soul. Now keep in mind, the current graphic settings I'm using is everything maxed out in this character select screen. However, in the actual game, I have all of my settings set to 4 with shadows turned off, or to 1. And I'm really sorry to break it to you guys, but the FPS is not totally fixed. There are still quite a lot of FPS issues, especially in a raid environment. Well, you know, I did weeklies, so it's not exactly a raid, but if my computer was suffering through the weeklies, I can only imagine the raids to be worse. But first of all, let's talk about the good news. Let's not jump straight into negativity. So there's a couple good things. First of all is this call to arms event. It is fantastic, giving everyone all of your Scarlet Conservatory soul shields, giving a Scarlet Conservatory weapon. This is really nice, and oh my goodness, the soul, the heart, all of this stuff is like best in slot gear back when I quit the game, and they're giving it all out for free. However, it is limited to 1 per account, so you do have to pick what character you have to put it on. And they're also giving gilded squares, like 8 of them. That's kind of nuts. Now, do keep in mind they are not Hong Moon gilded squares, which means they're not upgradable and they are not tradable on the account. They're not account bound. They are character bound, so that is kind of a bummer. But either way, it's still nice to get all of this gear. So, you know, in regular NCSoft fashion, they screw you somewhere, but they give you something nice once in a while. So overall, Calls to Arm event, I'm liking it. It's really nice, especially for me to come back and gear up a character very quickly by doing this event. Now, this event does have a caveat right now, but I think it's more of a bug, I think, according to forums. And that is currently if you play on easy mode on F8 or just your regular dailies and purple trains, it is actually really hard because the bosses have stupid amounts of HP. Okay, it's not hard per se, right? It's just the bosses are such bullet sponges that it takes forever to kill any of them. Like when we went to Sandstorm Temple, the boss had 2.7 billion HP. And I was like, wait, what? I don't remember the boss having this much HP. Another case was when I was running Cold Storage and Heaven's Mandate. Heaven's Mandate has a lot of HP. I don't remember Jin Soyeon being this tanky. I was like, holy crap, we're taking like a good 5 minutes to kill this boss. It's kind of nuts. Now, do keep in mind, I was running with 3 people and we were all returning players to Blade & Soul. Like, you know, we all just came back. We have like Grand Celestial 6 or something. Like, we're not super geared out of our butts, but I was still very surprised because I remember when we did easy mode on all of these bosses, like we would be able to blast through them in like 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes at most. We are able to just bulldoze through all of the easy content up to like, you know, Stone Scale Passage maybe. But I was just very surprised on how tanky everything is. However, I do believe Hime did post something saying that they will be reducing the HP as well as like how hard they hit, so forth and so on. Then I also heard people saying that if you play on normal difficulty, you get like a different token or a different currency or rewards or something versus easy mode. So that's pretty cool, I guess. I'm just a little bit confused on why everything is so tanky on easy mode. You know, I just expected easy mode to be, you know, as the title suggests, easy. You know, it should be soloable, just like how the KR servers are and stuff like that. I was just very surprised. I was just like, holy crap. Like, a new player to this game, there's no way they're going to be able to clear this type of stuff without like a hard carry or like an experienced player with them or something along those lines, right? Because, yeah, it's really caught me off guard. Now, what else is nice? The Unreal Engine 4 update definitely makes the graphics and makes everything look a lot nicer, especially with Bloom turned on. However, I personally don't really like Bloom because Bloom is, you know, it just makes everything really bright, really shiny, really glowy, and it's a little bit too much for me. However, When I do turn on all those graphics up to maximum, the game does look gorgeous. The only issue is I get 30 FPS. So unfortunately, Unreal Engine 4 did not fix the FPS issue for me. If I turn everything down to like 4 and turn off the shadows and everything, as you guys can see in the B-roll right now, this is my current FPS. And then if I want like solid FPS, I have to turn everything down to like 3 and turn off shadows, turn off bloom, motion blur, the high physics. I turn off everything, and then I get like solid 40 to 50 FPS-ish. Like, it's not super amazing, but it's manageable. Now, do keep in mind that the graphics card I am using is a little bit dated. It is a 1060 with 6 gigs of VRAM. My CPU is an i7-7700K, so the specs of my PC is maybe like a mid-tier, leaning towards the lower end of a mid-tier PC, so it's not super duper amazing. But when I played this game with Unreal Engine 3, I was getting around the same frames. Like, sure, the frames increased maybe by like 5 to 10 FPS, but I was kind of expecting Unreal Engine 4 to just like blow everything out of the water. I was hoping that I could play this game just like how I play, you know, Phantasy Star Online 2, or how I can run Black Desert Online, you know, just have everything set on high and have solid 60 FPS. Unfortunately, that is not really the case. When I ran into Mushin's Tower, I had to lower everything dramatically. Like, if everything wasn't 3 or below, I was getting like 14, 20 FPS. It was pretty bad. But, you know, if you're just doing the storyline, if you're just doing like 6-man dungeons, it's fine. The game runs perfectly fine. You can enjoy it with all its high fidelity if you want. Especially if you have a better graphics card than me. With a 1060, you know, you probably have to play everything on 4 and not on 5. Like, 5 is totally maxed out. But it still looks gorgeous, alright? The game still looks freaking fabulous. Alright, now for the bad news. The bad news is, unfortunately, ping still matters. Matters a lot. As you guys can see now in this B-roll, this is when I was lagging. I have 230 ms normally. During the B-roll that you're seeing right now, I'm like at 280 ms, and you can see how bad the lag is. Like, you can see here, I'm smashing my keys and nothing's happening. My character's kind of just like T-posing, or like occasionally there's like an attack or two that comes out, but it is clearly not an enjoyable experience because I'm lagging. And the problem with this game is everything is server side. So they haven't fixed this problem yet, and it's only become even more apparent to me because I spent a lot of time playing Black Desert Online. I've been playing some Destiny 2 recently, and I've also been playing a ton of Phantasy Star Online 2. Like, these games have really, really good netcode compared to what Blade & Soul has. And so because I've been playing those games for a year and a half, coming over back to Blade & Soul, it's just really jarring to see like, oh wow, I'm lagging, I'm screwed now. There goes all of my DPS. Instead of pulling off my regular 2 million DPS on my gunner, it just falls off a cliff and I'm dealing like 800k or even less, just simply because I'm lagging. Which is very, very unfortunate. I was hoping that the Unreal Engine 4 was going to address something about the netcode, since they did mention it in their developer letters and stuff like that. However, yeah, apparently they didn't fix much. Maybe they did, maybe the ping is a little bit lower, but when I lag spike, or when I'm lagging, or when I play in the evenings when my ping's a little bit higher, I simply just deal less damage. It's simple as that. It really, really sucks, and it really takes the enjoyment out of the game for me. Now, since this is just a first impressions video, I'm not going to be telling you whether you should come back or not. I feel like you should give Blade & Soul a second chance if you want to. Just don't spend money. That's the number one thing that I can tell everyone, is don't spend money until you are sure that you are going to be playing this game long term. Because I have spent a lot of money on this game and it didn't get me very far. Sure, I get very nice cosmetic items, sure, I get some really nice gear, but if you're just patient and you play the game slowly and you make some really good friends, making friends is freaking important in this game so that you get into like good raids, you get into daily purple trains and so forth and so on, then your life is easy. However, if you have no friends, if you don't socialize, and you don't like to join other people's raids and stuff like that, well then you're in for a very rough time, and I suggest that you just enjoy the story, maybe do a couple purple trains on easy mode or the occasional normal or hard mode, and just stop there. Don't even bother raiding, because if you want to do raiding, well, you better be ready to put the time commitment into the raids and actually learning the stuff and gearing up your characters, blah 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 blah. So it's a huge time investment. This game is not for the faint of heart. This game is not for casual players. This game is a lot more hardcore versus like Phantasy Star Online or Black Desert and stuff like that, because there's a lot of group-based content which revolves around raiding, and yeah, it's a whole different can of worms. I'll talk about that in another video one day when I feel like it. But today's video, it was first impressions. So far, the game is freaking fun, it's amazing, it's fresh, but I am extremely disappointed with the Unreal Engine 4 update, because performance is definitely not up to snuff.
Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye!
Can I say except you're welcome, for the heels, the